I know she loves slopestyle mountain biking. Her big bro, Chance Moore, does as well. They have a training compound at their home in BC, and she's dropping in to kick this one off.
Yeah, this is going to be her first official drop-in on the Crankworx slopestyle course in competition. So she's just getting through right now. She's keeping it really smooth. That's a really smart move on her part there. Just to get a clean run is a confidence builder. It's something you can build on. And that is so important right now, especially with Mia's first run. Just taking a little alternate line right there around the quarter pipe. Styling out, enjoying the time out there.
Mia living it up for the crowd right now. Oh no!
Looks like maybe she's done.
She slid out a little bit on that bank. And I was trying to figure out if she was just gonna roll from there to continue the run. But I don't know, it's her first huge trip international. And you're not just coming to Cairns, Australia to go snorkeling and hiking through the rainforest. You're dropping in front of hundreds of thousands of eyeballs when you combine the viewers at home, the crowd standing by trackside here. A little bit of pressure.
Yeah,
I expect to see her, you know, it'll be her second run ever in a Diamond Slopestyle contest next run, and she'll be able to shake off those willies, if you will.
Yeah, you know, first time in, you never know what's gonna happen. But here we have another first. Alma Wiggberg, this is her first run on the slopestyle circuit, not in Rotorua. Let's see what she's got. Bar spin up onto the flat deck. She's cranking on the pedals right here to this big first-time booter. Bar spin backflip out of Alma Wiggberg. I do not think we have seen that in the female category just yet. Looks like she got a little handoff there. I don't know if it slipped. She's just getting every little bit she can back on the pedals, coming at the crocktail. Straight up in the crocktail, hipping right back in, looking steezy on that hip. Keeping her momentum on this step down. Suicide no-hander, a little bit of case. Now she's gonna need to push through here and gets a trick off, maintains that speed. And there it is, the big 360 on the Showtime booter. The Cairns crowd is giving her all the love she deserves.
Alma Wiggberg means business. A couple firsts for Crankworx slopestyle women's field out there in that run. We got a top to bottom. That is undoubtedly going to be the score to beat once the judges are done with this one.
Yeah, talk me through this replay right here. Perfect.
Backflip bar spin. Yeah, we have not seen that in women's slopestyle on the Crankworx World Tour yet. Check it off, that's gonna score high.
Yeah, that's gonna score really high. Perfect height, perfect rotation. And this is where she had a little bit of trouble. Suicide no-hander and tagged a little bit, but was able to get through, got tricks on all of these jumps, and there it is, the big floaty 360 on that final big jump. Another first in the women's competition here at Crankworx.
She used that 360 to score a silver medal in Crankworx Speed and Style Whistler 2022. That was when we were just daydreaming about a women's slopestyle field on the World Tour. We got it now, and she has arrived. Her first appearance, and she dropped a hammer.
Yeah, you can tell by that smile on her face, that is what she wanted out of that run. Such a good feeling to get that first one out of the way. Now she can sit back, watch her competitors, and there it is. First place, 84.75, so a solid score for Alma Wiggberg out of Sweden.
All right, well, we have a competition on our hands now. The next rider loaded up into the gate with an opportunity to try to beat that 84.75. She's gonna need some big tricks in order to do it. The 27-year-old Texan, she took first place in the Summer Series in Quebec and second at the Reader Slopestyle in Silver Star. She's on course now, Shealen Reno.
Yeah, double trick right there, no footer up on the box, X up off. Big nothing, one of my favorite tricks. They say nothing because you're not even touching the bike. It's definitely not doing nothing right there. X up in, getting all of her opportunities to score some points. Cranking back in, straight to the crocktail, what she got in. Looked like a one-footed knack-knack X up, tire grab out. See if she can keep her momentum here.
Nice combo.
Tuck no-hander to X up. Suicide no-hander. And here we go.
Final jump.
Oh, hold on to it, Shealen. Looked like she was maybe going for a Superman. Got that front end a little bit too high. Sometimes when you hesitate off the lip and you don't get that snap, you just kind of get left out there in no man's land. But up here, she was unbelievably smooth.
Well, you can see she's been working hard in the past 2 months. Expect to see that from every one of these riders right now, that the stage has been set for women's slopestyle. She ended up in 5th place in Rotorua, and we're seeing evidence that she's been brushing up on some new tricks, working on some of those upright combos. She obviously wanted something bigger off that final jump, but here's some of the moments where she's gonna be scoring big. She packed a lot in on some of these smaller skate park features.
Yeah, definitely got tricks in on almost every single jump. That's gonna go a long way. There's that tuck no-hander to X-up you called out. Super difficult combination. Getting the suicide no-hander off, tricking all 3 into the finish, and this was where she got the front end a little bit too high and was able to manual out. It's definitely going to affect her score, but man, just to have a clean run, to be able to walk back up to the top and not be covered in dirt is such an advantage.
Absolutely. We'll see what the judges do with that. She packed a lot in. There was some moments where she lacked extension, and then obviously that last jump, missing the trick altogether, leaving the door open for this rider right now who took the bronze medal in Rotorua. Caroline Buchanan shifting focus purely to slopestyle here on the World Tour. She decided to compete in pump track last night. She took a silver medal, but she's been focusing on this moment right now, dropping in Caroline Buchanan.
Little toboggan out of the on-off box there. Caroline getting her run started. Superman C-Crab Indian air. Man, she landed smooth on that one. X up on the angled wall. X up out. Nice air toboggan on the quarter pipe. That's the first trick we've seen on the quarter pipe. Up into the crocktail. See if she can hold on. Got a little front end high there in the crocktail, but she's able to maintain that momentum. Gets a neck in on this blind step down. All the speed into this final jump. What she got?
She needs some big Superman C-Crab straight to the pedals for Caroline Buchanan.
Such a difficult trick in these conditions. It is a little bit windy. We've seen the windsocks here blowing a bit. It is so hard to fly straight in that situation, but she's able to make it happen.
Well, we saw her in practice right before we started this competition, going for the Superman C-Crab on the final jump and trying to squeeze it out. Great extension on the Indian air up there on the second feature of the course, and making sure that she doesn't repeat that at the bottom. She made sure not to cross the legs. You see the trick list rundown on the bottom left side of your screen right there. Superman C-Crab Indian air on the second feature, and just a straight Superman C-Crab on the final feature. Big missed opportunity here on the step down, Alan.
Yeah, we were talking about a little bit earlier on Shealen's run how important that is to get a trick off on every one of these obstacles. Some of the wood features maybe not as important, but definitely when you're on these big jumps, every trick is gonna take your score up a notch. And these riders are so dialed in, you're gonna see more than one doing tricks on every single jump.
When you're not rotating in the women's field right now, you have to get great extension on those upright maneuvers, and she did exactly that on the second feature with that C-Crab Indian air. What will the judges do with it? The score to beat is an 84.75. Caroline Buchanan's score coming in right now at 70, putting her into second place.
Do you see what she just said? Are you a lip reader? Did you see what she said? She said, I got more.
Yeah, we believe it. Harriet Burbidge-Smith, the next rider to drop. She's loaded up in the gate right now. She has a silver medal from Crankworx Rotorua back in March. She would love to collect some more hardware here in Cairns. The Australian dropping in.
Let's see what has right here. Tire grab to toboggan, so double tricks already, looking good. Big, clean, straight backflip, landing absolutely perfect. Tire grab up onto the angled wall. Just popping in here, what she got on the quarter pipe. Nice air right there, about a foot out on that quarter pipe. Tuck no-hander into the crocktail. Nice big invert out. Keeping that momentum. No-footed one-hander, the TriStar, loving it. Now she's missing a trick there, but she's got keeping her speed for something.
Yeah, come on!
Another big backflip into the festival village here in Cairns. Another top to bottom run here in this women's slopestyle category.
Great run there for Haz. I would say the strength of that run was the conviction she had with the execution on all those tricks. Obviously, she included 2 rotations in there. This is going to be one that could potentially fight for that top spot.
Yeah, these are huge jumps. And watch this. This is what I caught. Look how smooth that landing was. Like a 747 coming into the runway. Big tuck no-hander into the crocktail. And I like this. No messing around. Just straight back out. Getting steezy on the hip.
Good variety.
Yeah, nice variety of tricks. Flipping.
I got a question for you, though. We're thinking about the top score right now, the 84.75 belonging to Alma Wiggberg. She had that backflip variation that's got to carry a lot of weight.
Yeah, absolutely. Any combination that these riders can pull together, it's not too different from when they're doing combinations in the speed and style competition. You know, they're compounding, it's building. That score is just gonna get more and more. The more tricks you can work every time you're in the air.
We also saw Alma with the 360 as well. The only rotations we saw in Rotorua were backflips, so Alma with the backflip variation and the alternate rotation of 360 instead of the backflip there. Judges taking their time with this one, but all those elements we're discussing right now, I gotta imagine they're discussing those as well.
Yeah, it's so cool how they have the judging these days. Able to watch reviews, they have that trick list.
75, Harriet Burbidge-Smith knocks Caroline Buchanan out of silver medal position.
Yeah, no chances for the judges to miss anything up there. They can watch the replays, take their time with it.
Oh, here we go. The only competitor who owns a gold medal in women's slopestyle on the Crankworx World Tour. Her name is Robin Goomes, and she's dropping in. Let's see if she has what it takes to knock out that 84.75 from Alma Wiggberg.
No footer up, X up out. You saw her running through her trick list before she dropped in. Let's see what she's got. Huge backflip on that jump, another perfect landing. Can-can lander, yeah. Yes, bringing it all the way around. Can-can back out, so another level of difficulty we haven't seen here. Also creativity, that goes a long way. Suicide no hammer up in the crocktail. Nice big opposite table out. Getting all the speed she can. These final 3 jumps, no footed
nice.
can-can. Tuck no hander, so she's got a stunt on every trick.
Here we go.
Every jump has been tricked. That is what you need to do out here.
Robin Goomes absolutely packed that run full of action. That was a great top to bottom run.
Yeah, working in a nice little bit of technical maneuvers up there on that angled wall, the can-can lander to can-can out. That was awesome. She tricked in, she tricked out of the flat box.
I would say a big determining factor here is going to be some of those smaller features. I love the creativity she had on the up bank.
Yeah, suicide in on the crocktail. Keeping the momentum going, not messing around with the quarter pipe, just hipping straight out, and then focusing on these last 3 jumps. Getting both feet over the crossbar, no-footed can-can. Those bars in the lap. Tuck no-hander.
That's got to matter a lot, because we had a lot of riders choose to straight air that in order to get ideal speed for this final Showtime booter. Alan, what do you think? She had creative elements. The one-footed can-can lander on the up bank, bringing it back over on the way down. She tricked the step down. Is it going to be enough to top that 84.75?
I've never been a judge, but it might be hard. I think it's going to be hard to pass up that flip bar spin. That is a whole big step up from what we've seen, and that's going to matter a whole lot. But like I said, I'm not a judge. That's not what I do.
I'm with you. I'm with you. The weight of the 360 and the backflip bar spin in Alma Wiggberg's run is pretty tough to mess with unless you start doing those rotations yourself. The score coming in for Robin Goomes, an 81.25. She slots into 2nd place. I agree with the judges on this one.
Yeah, for sure. Double thumbs up there. You know she's got more in the tank. We've seen some flip combinations out of her at times in the speed and style competition, so we know that they have more in the tank to bring on these second runs, and I am excited to watch them battle it out, I'll tell you.
Great variety here as we savor some of these replays from Robin Goomes' run to close out run number 1 for our women's field. The winner of stop number 1, seated in second place right now, Harriet Burbidge-Smith, who took the silver in Rotorua, sitting in third. And then this new name, we're aware of her because she made waves in speed and style 2 years ago, but she's making waves here in slopestyle now. That's Alma Wiggberg leading the charge for the women.
Yeah, Alma out of Sweden rides with Emil Johansson quite a bit.
I mean,
something in the water.
We're hanging out in Australia, Alan. This is a very unique part of the world. They've got their own culture. They got their own slang. The riders, while they're down here, they're trying to educate themselves on the culture. Take a look. Well, how about instead we talk about Lockie Stevens-McNabb back in Rotorua, the winner of the downhill, the youngster. It is not going to be the last we see from him. Unfortunately, he's not here racing in Cairns because he's out there racing the World Cups. He's going to be making waves. We've got his little brother out here, Wyatt Stevens-McNabb. Best part about the Crankworx Festival is we have a huge collection of different disciplines out here. Everything from pump track to slopestyle to downhill, speed and style, and pump track last night. Full festival atmosphere out here that we've been having bands perform every day. We got some big bands performing tonight. The headliners, the legendary Australian band Spiderbait. They'll be taken to the stage at 6:30. We will be celebrating whatever happens here in slopestyle to the tunes of the legendary Spiderbait, and I'm looking forward to it.
It just kind of clicked on me why they're called Spiderbait, because we kind of all are here, right?
Yes. This guy's trying to not be Spiderbait by trying to look like a spider. I'm one of you guys, man. See, I got 8 legs coming off my face. All right, well, this time we're actually going to talk about the unique culture of Australia and how we try to educate ourselves on it. Take a look.
372 days, 3 planes, and over 9,000 miles. And we're finally back down under for some Crankworx slopestyle. Today, I'll be catching up with some of my fellow competitors and testing some of their Aussie knowledge. Let's get cracking, mate. So David. Last year here, you attempted a world's first on this last jump, going for the win. Can you tell me a bit about that?
Tried the Keshi windshield wiper, but this year I have a little different plan. Try to play it more safe, but try to show some bangers as well.
Tell me, Ben T, how do you feel to be back in Cairns?
I feel amazing. It's good to be back. I love Australia, you know, it's not everyone gets the opportunity to come out here, so to be back, I'm stoked.
Have you ever tried Vegemite before, Ben?
I tried the littlest bit once. I almost puked, so I don't want to try again, no.
Too bad.
Are you sure? This is way too much on you.
It's like we're doing a shot at Gillies, come on. How fired up are you to showcase the stacked women's field to the Aussie crowd?
I'm super excited. We have so much talent in this group of girls. Keen to see like more spins, more rotations just coming in throughout the season. I think it's going to happen here, and the crowd deserves to see it.
They're going to bring the heat. We see a prehistoric creature here, lurking the slopestyle course, checking the features out. Honestly, I have no idea what it is. Has the Aussie is doing her best to sneak up on it. She clearly knows her prehistoric creatures. I'm quite freaked out by this beast, if I'm honest.
He is massive.
Wow, this is just incredible.
Cheers.
Big one.
Okay. You like it?
No.
You like it?
No. No.
It's kind of tasty.
It's so bad.
Can we have the gummies?
It's so bad.
Music to your ears.
Look at this thing. It is huge. All right, Spider, how are we doing out here today? Yeah, cool.
Now I have some trivia for you. First question, true or false? Australia is the only continent where the venomous snakes outnumber the non-venomous snakes.
I'm gonna say true.
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 Indeed, it is true. What is the capital of Australia?
Sydney?
I don't know.
Is it Brisbane?
No.
I don't know. The Vegemite is distracted in my brain. I don't know nothing.
It's Cairns for sure.
It's Cairns, baby. Cairns is the capital.
It's Canberra.
She indeed knows.
I know why too, because they couldn't decide between Sydney and Melbourne, so they just made a city in the middle of Sydney and Melbourne.
What is the most dangerous bird in Australia? Option A, magpie. Option B, kookaburra. Option C, penguin. And option D, cassowary.
Kookaburra.
I know it has a red head.
Penguin.
I did watch a documentary on Australian animals last night, and it's the cassowary.
Now that you're all caught up on Australian knowledge, I better get to practice. Can you do that explosion transition thing? Sick. Rock shocks. Confidence and control. No compromises.
I live in Canada. I have no clue.
Show clip of what cassowary looks like. Preferably in attack mode of some sort.
Cool.
After that, I can't tell if we're all a little bit smarter or all a lot dumber, but we can't help it either way. So let's just move on to our men's start list. Coming at you from the alternate list in his first Crankworx appearance, the first man we're gonna drop is a German by the name of Tobey Miley. He took first place at the Borel Bike Fest in Slovakia, earning enough points to join the crowd here. The crowd who is led by the Swede Emil Johansson. He will be the final rider to drop by merit of his just utter dominance in the sport of men's slopestyle on mountain bikes. And we're all excited to see him return to this Crankworx Cairns course where he took the gold just a year ago. But right now it's all about that young gentleman I was speaking about from Germany, the 21-year-old Tobey Miley.
Yeah, 21 years old. He has reached the pinnacle of his discipline right here. About 45 minutes ago, he was not in this competition. He's ready to go. He's hyped.
Yes. Tobey Miley on course.
Yeah, looking really good right there. Looking like he's feeling loose, tricking all of these sets. Now is when it's going to get real for him.
Oh, yes!
Big Superman seat grab, Indian air. Tuck no-hander up onto the angle wall. Bar spin out.
I'm a fan.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan. That little nose manual to tweak, little nose bump to tweak on the way in, just told the tail for me on this one. Was that a triple truck into the croc tail, downside tail whip out. Tucking in for his speed. You know he's going to be shooting for tricks on all of these.
Oh!
Big corked out 7. Followed by a 360 tail whip, landing perfectly.
It is on. What do we got? A double backflip.
Oh, and he does it. He absolutely nails his first run ever on the Crankworx Slopestyle Series.
Come over here. Give me a fist bump after that. That was insane. Way to go, man. What a way to kick off our men's field here. Tobey Miley. Oh, that was sick. All right, we're going.
Sometimes when you have a new rider, the Stoke wins, and I think the Stoke might actually win out here today.
Hey, that same energy he has down here at the bottom after the successful run he had at the top, we had a feeling this one was going to have some energy in it. That backflip Superman C-grab Indian air was absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, he's going to be scoring maximum points on that for height, for extension, for execution, and how he landed perfectly in and was able to keep his momentum and his run going. Downside tail whip out of the hip, straight back onto the pedals, and then this corked 7 to start out these last 3 super important jumps that you have to be perfect on to keep your speed rolling, and that is exactly what Tobey did.
Well, we got a serious contender out here off the alternate list. We had a few riders drop out. showing up here hoping to be recovered from previous injuries, making the judgment call to take themselves off the start list and open up the door for Tobey Miley, and he absolutely capitalized on that opportunity.
Yeah, I think he absolutely understands what opportunity he has in front of him, and he absolutely capitalized on it here. And everybody is stoked.
Even bigger opportunity right now than we typically see from a normal slopestyle competition. The fact that the riders did not ride in a Rotorua, the fact that a lot of the top riders in the world do not compete as much on the Gold Series, which is a lower tier event series. He earned his way into this position right here where he's got a 78.25. He's gonna be the man in charge. He earned his spot into this competition by working hard on the Gold Series right now. So if he gets a good result here, he's gonna be slotting into the rest of the World Tour. He's positioned himself nicely.
Yeah, these riders have earned themselves the rights to be here via points.
I'll go to 6 mil. That's all.
Looks like Max maybe is having a little bit of an issue with his bike up there.
Max Langille taking a look at some sort of mechanical concern on his bike right now. This is his third Crankworx slopestyle appearance. He's coming back from injury. He had a broken foot back in June. I know he's looking to pick up where he left off. His best Crankworx slopestyle result was an 8th right here in Cairns 2 years ago. Looks like he was able to source an Allen wrench here to fix whatever is wrong with his bike. And I know that he is one rider who's very well aware of the importance of this opportunity he has on his hands right now. You know, this is one of the riders who is really excited to ride in Rotorua.
Yeah, it looks like he's tightening his pedal there. Maybe he was a little bit loose. It's one of the things that happens if these riders are traveling all over the world with their bikes. They're taking them apart, bringing them on planes.
Oh, this one works as an 8.
Sometimes you don't get things as tight as you need to when you put it back together, but it looks like he's all tightened up now.
When you're ready, Max.
Take a deep breath, Max. You got this, the young Canadian.
Fine.
So much hard work and energy to come back from injury. All the riders up here know what it's like. Max Langille right now looking to make all the recovery and the preparation come to fruition right now.
And you see him there kind of just digging his foot into the pedal there. He's wanting to get all the dirt off of his pedal so he has maximum grip for these wild stunts that he's no doubt about to throw down. Bar spin up. 3 and down. I think that was an opposite 3 right there.
I was gonna say.
Nice big cash roll, perfect landing, spotting the landing, pushing the bike right in. Bar spin up, little bar spin back around, toboggan in. Tuck no hander to bar spin on the quarter pipe. That was nice amplitude on that. Flip whip up into the crocktail. Oh, and he rides off the edge a little bit. He's gonna keep it going. That will affect his score, but he is not gonna give up.
How's he gonna handle his speed? He's back on track.
He's back on track, that opposite 360, one-footed table, the truck driver, and then a big, huge front flip, and he overrotates just slightly.
Max Langille trying to put the pieces together after getting offline in the crocktail. Struggling for speed in the final straightaway. Looking to finish strong with that front flip and having a minor over-rotation.
Yeah, starting out really smooth. That was an opposite 360 in off that flat drop, so that's a really difficult maneuver. And here on this cash roll, look at his head stop spinning as he spots the landing and brings the bike completely around. Boom, both tires in at the exact same time. I like this, just a little extra bar spin up there.
Yeah, he's got a gyro. He's not doing it to rewind his cables. Here's where he got offline, Alan.
Yeah, on that flip whip, it looked like maybe the tail whip over-rotated slightly and threw his weight off and just steered him right out of the crocktail. And then this. We thought he was gonna be fighting for speed, which maybe he was too, and he looked like he ended up over-jumping, maybe overcompensated for that mistake up there on the crocktail.
Not a lot of margin for error when you're doing a front flip. All that energy coming forward, you have to be really prepared to take that impact. You get to spot your landing quite late. That impact was too much for him to hold on to. He'll focus on run number 2 to get a top to bottom in the bag.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the most technical parts about a front flip is you can't see anything until the very last second. You're staring at your belly the entire time you're rotating around.
We have another Crankworx Slopestyle rookie in the start gate right now. He's been tearing it up on the gold event circuit. First at Big White last year. This is Jake Atkinson. Oh no!
Jake Atkinson looks like he was going for a bar spin to manual. It's a very technical trick right there. The riders are running down to check on him. We got the medics coming. That was just super unfortunate. It looked like he missed a hand on that bar spin on the way up. And there's no time to make any adjustments or corrections once you end up on there. So not the way he wanted to start out here. Let's see if we can get a replay.
You see that front end really high, looking like he wanted to land for that manual, and then the
yeah, just a little bit awkward landing. It looked like his weight was just a little bit forward, and he was leaning back, and somehow when he landed, his feet popped off. That was a brutal little crash right there. Definitely not something you see coming.
I feel like that is such a huge dice roll to start your run out of your first Crankworx Slopestyle appearance with a bar spin and manual on a flat box. I love the fact that he was willing to go for it, but man, risk versus reward, that's a tough one to justify.
Yeah, all these riders have just a little bit different comfort zone. We saw Thomas Lemoyne doing that here a couple of years ago. Bar spinning up and across and actually back in at times.
I love it though, he is a skate park specialist. He won the skate park jam downtown Cairns on Thursday night. So it's probably something that he has been stomping all morning in practice. Didn't come together in the run. So we focus our attention on Griffin Paulson right now. You saw him on this course last year. His best Crankworx Slopestyle result was a 6th in New Zealand last season. This is his 9th Crankworx Slopestyle appearance. He had a big trick he wanted to do for the crowd here in Cairns last year, wasn't able to do it. Let's see what he has now in 2024.
Looks like Griffin's gonna use the on-off box here, bar spin up, 360 down, so getting a clean start straight on the pedals. So big maneuver here, what's it gonna be?
Yeah.
And he nails it, double backflip on that first big jump. Little invert up, see what he's got out, bar spin out, so he's keeping the momentum going. Toboggan on the quarter pipe, that's when you're turning the front wheel and grabbing the seat at the same time. Oh, and he goes deep on the cocktail. Was that a bar spin front flip, Cam?
So deep.
But he's gonna keep the momentum going into these final 3 jumps. Bar spin backflip. Big lofty lawn dart front flip.
What's he got on the last jump? Big front flip tuck no-hander, clean through the finish.
Griffin coming into the finish corral.
Sketchy moments, baby, sketchy moments.
I said sketchy moments, baby.
I'll take it.
All right, Alan, let's take a look back at this run right now. Let's see what he got into the cocktail. Of course, the double backflip here on the first big booter is going to play toward his favor on the judges' scorecard.
And rolling the dice so early in his run, throwing down a trick of that caliber, able to keep the momentum on. It was a bar spin front flip, but look how deep he goes.
I can't believe he was able to hold on to that. Here we go, front flip.
Oh, front flip
X up.
That's what it was. Yeah, maybe he sensed he was going long there. Front tire catching maybe 6 inches of transition.
Caught the last half of a bike length of transition there.
Like to see that that sag band on that pike he has. I bet he bottomed completely out. Let's see what we got.
He probably knew early too. He was staring at that landing before the rotation started.
I think every push-up Griffin's ever done in his life just paid off.
Score coming in for Griffin Paulson. It's a 60.75. Low score, but good enough for second place. All right, well, the last couple riders we've seen now have been representing the country of Canada. We got another one right now. Ben Thompson. Here's how he's running his RockShox Pike DJ on this hardtail slopestyle specific steed. He was 7th place in last year's Joyride. He won Rider of the Day, which was fan voted. He's one of my favorites out here. His best result came here in Cairns 2022. Here he goes, front flip, no-hander over the up box.
All the way over the up box, huge opener.
Oh.
Triple bar spin backflip. Huge opener going all the way up and over that long box. That was a massive way to start out this run. Downside tail whip on the quarter pipe. That is a big quarter pipe to be doing that trick. 360 downside tail whip, barely keeping his tires on the croc tail. But the momentum is running.
Ooh, is that a flip bar?
I didn't see the combination. We'll have to see in a replay there. Big truck driver. Let's go, Ben. Jacob, you're right. Here he comes.
Oh, yeah!
Oh, and he carved so much.
Yes!
Turning that Showtime booter into a hip. Massive, massive 360 double downside tail whip.
I'll take it, I'll take it.
The Canadian contingent coming out strong. Huge move here. The front flip tuck no-hander over the on-off box. Love to see it.
Look at how high in the air Ben is on that first feature. Straight in to this bar, to bar, to bar. 3 times around backflip. Watch how close his tires are on this. He was almost running off like we saw some of the other riders having issues with earlier, but he was able to keep that course correct. Doing tricks on all of the features, racking up the points straight into this, and now watch this carve. Oh! Just so corked out, able to grab those pedals. A little bit of a case, could affect his score some, but man, his feet were clean on the pedals.
You know how much it matters, though, the fact that he was able to keep those feet on the pedals despite coming up a little bit short, landing on the top of the knuckle, that jump right there. His score is going to be helped by the fact that he kept those feet glued to the pedals.
Let's see what he can do against Tobey Miley, the 78.5 that he collected a little bit earlier. Got some background babies making faces there.
Something.
You gotta love the crowd out here, man. No shortage of enthusiasm and noise alongside the slopestyle course here in Cairns, Australia. Waiting for a score from the Canadian Ben Thompson, who took his best Crankworx slopestyle result here on this course. It was a 5th in 2022. Let's take another look here at this.
It was a flip bar spin. You did call that right.
It was a quick bar, wasn't it? But this final trick right here, this 360 double downside tail whip. Watch how much he transfers to the rider's left of that landing.
No other tire marks on that landing within 5 feet.
There we go. Ben Thompson slides into 2nd place with a 70.75. Oh, we got a powerful rider up in the gate right now. Top of the show, we mentioned there's a handful of riders out there who have 3 second places in their quest to unseating the champ, Emil Johansson. One of them is this man, Tim Bringer.
I like where I'm seeing Tim start. That's telling me he's gonna go huge on this first obstacle. And there it is, a big double backflip over the on-off box. Are you kidding me? Flip double tail, and it goes absolutely massive on that jump. Keeping the tricks rolling on this little tech section. My, man, that was a huge flare on the quarter pipe. What's he got in the croc tail?
No.
Cash roll in. Double tail whip out for Tim Bringer. What's he gonna do coming into this finish corral? 360 X up to bar spin. Another double backflip on the step down.
Come on, Tim.
And a 360 double tail whip. Unbelievable. Yeah, Tim.
Yeah, buddy! That is a powerful rider right there who left it all out on the course. Man, we got our work cut out for us on this replay.
Man, so much intensity in this run from start to finish.
Oh, I almost forgot about the double backflip over the on-off box.
Yeah, it's completely blind with that on-off box there. It almost looks like you're just running into a wall, but he has no worries. And straight into this massive flip double tail whip. Watch,
look at that.
Look at how high in the air he is, and that's gonna carry him all the way down this lane. Look how far he goes. But he's able to maintain his composure.
He's a beast.
Bring into this cash roll, into the croc tail, straight in, straight out to this double tail whip.
Well, there's a reason this rider has 3 second places, 5 podium appearances. The one that's been eluding him is that gold medal. He's doing everything within his power to earn it.
And the double backflip on that step down, a lot of the riders are using that to get speed for this final one and playing it safe, but not Tim Bringer. Able to bring it home with this 360 double tail whip. And look at that, he is stoked.
I would say as well, Alan, if you look at all the tricks in that run, there weren't any repeat tricks. If you can say there was 2 double backflips, well, one was over an on-off box, the other one was on a step down. We had a flip double tail up and a 360 double tail up. So a very well-balanced run right there. Will it be enough to knock Tobey Miley out of that top spot? He needs better than a 78.25. He does it, an 89.25. We have a new leader.
Absolutely massive, massive score for Tim Bringer as we're working our way through this men's field. The pressure is on at the top of the hill.
Oh yeah, one of our favorite riders in the field, one of the most creative and unique riders in the sport of mountain biking. The Frenchman, Paul Couderc, will be the next to take to this course. He finally cracked onto the podium at Joyride last year with a 2nd place. There's only one more spot to go. Can he do it? Yeah!
Massive flip whip over the on-off box. Paul Couderc is locked in. Double backflip, landing absolutely perfect. These riders are so dialed, it's blowing my mind. Barely a missed step anywhere from any of these riders. Able to tail it, keep the tricks going on the tech stuff. What's he gonna do to the croc tail? 360 tail whip, gets a little loose. He's able to hold on to it. Toboggan out.
Yeah.
720. Flip whip on the step down. What's he gonna do here? Gets the opposite 720 and he's able to bring it in. That is the trick we saw him have trouble. That was redemption for Paul Couderc right there. That's what's up.
Yeah, dude, that was so good.
Amazing, amazing.
Oh yeah, Cairns.
Oh man.
We got papers all over the floor. We're losing it over here. This is absolutely out of control. A look back at that monstrous run from Paul Couderc.
And that's one of the things I love so much about watching Paul Couderc ride. You can see the intensity, you can see the emotion, you can see how much this means to him every step of the way down this course, and then it just explodes into this final jump. But here, let's see how he got there.
Did you see his eyeballs just a minute ago?
Yeah, I saw into his soul as he came over to get congratulated.
Oh.
And this is where he had trouble last year. We saw him go down on this opposite cork 720, but there was nothing wrong with that one. And look at that.
I would say that's one of the reasons that moment meant so much, is we've seen the footage of that crash from last year so many times when he under-rotated the opposite cork 720 on the final feature. Right here, just a year ago, he gets redemption today. And wow, we can't wait to see this score. He's looking to better the 89.25 from Tim Bringer, his fellow countryman.
I almost fell down right here. Not that I'm very stable on my feet, but.
Okay, score coming in for Paul Couderc in 83. He goes into 2nd place. Paul Couderc finished 2nd place at the big one, the big show, Joyride last year. And we got another rider at the top of the course from the UK. He was on the Joyride podium last year with a bronze medal. He had his first 2 podiums last season. He either gets on the podium or he goes down swinging. This is Tom Isted. Oh!
Huge Superman backflip over the on-off box. I'm loving the option.
Come on, slow down.
Oh! Double backflip to manual. Claim it.
Oh, thank goodness that was the next feature.
That counts. He's gonna keep this thing going.
Yes, he does it again. Oh, so good.
That is more than a 720-degree rotation because he's going the long way. Can he keep this going? Casey's a little bit.
Oh,
loses his visor.
Oh, going down on the cash roll. No. Oh, that was a salvage mission there. The final straightaway of that run. Tom Isted, always with a unique approach to that crocktail feature, choosing instead of jumping in and out, he likes to transfer all the way over, out to the left side of that cork 720. Almost over-rotated this double backflip though, Alan.
Yeah, save of the day right here. Ends up over-rotating, but holds on to the manual for a good 10, 12 feet. And then that really threw him off from there. It was really hard for him to get back into his rhythm. We saw him have a couple other issues. But to get from the top to bottom with that over-rotation, looks like we have a little bit of precipitation falling from the sky right now. But Tom able to keep the momentum going after those first issues. Corked 810. That's an 810-degree rotation. He's over-rotating a 720, a corked 7 to get around that hip.
Big creative use of course. We see there the only rider who's transferring from the lip of that crocktail into the dirt landing. This is where the salvage mission began. Oh,
and then we see right there, he leans forward for the front flip and his visor actually clips his front tire and the visor flies off. Watch it, just right there.
Bye-bye.
We used to call that trick a visor grinder. You didn't usually do it when you're doing a front flip, but.
That was before visors were magnetically held into place too, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely it was. Yeah, he throws his way forward. The reason why I'm guessing that visor made contact on the tire right there is because that jump before, he kind of cased that 360 tail, but he was fighting for forward momentum. So he basically just dove off of that step down into that front flip rotation with all of his body weight to try to get his bike and body to get forward and get over that jump to keep his momentum going. Normally you don't bang your visor on the front tire.
Back when I used to do front flip variations, all my helmets had big tire tread on the front right there. That's one nice thing about not doing that trick anymore. There's other nice things that don't have to stress as much over it. Tom Isted, a rider whose checkers or wreckers, the 4 events last season, he was on the podium on 2 of them, and he didn't finish a single run in the other 2. So it just goes to show his approach. It's all or nothing. Paid off twice last year. He's got another run to go here today. Of course, a little bit of liquid sunshine falling from the sky right now.
Yeah, we're gonna take a little bit of a break, especially with these wood features. Don't want to take any risks. These riders slipping out.
Erik Fedko, Caroline Buchanan, Patricia Druin, some of the most stylish riders in the game. We love to see what they get up to outside the tape. Take a look.
Oh, here we are, back in the land of deadly animals and beautiful beaches. It's been over a year since we stepped foot on the slopestyle course here in Cairns. Let's check it out. Starting on top, the first feature on course is the Maxxis on-off flat deck. It has a 5-meter wide deck and a 3-meter gap up, 3-meter gap down, which is just like about 7.5 Maxxis Icon tires wide, 4.5 across and 4.5 down. What I like about this feature is the option to trick on and off or just trick over the whole thing just like I did in 2022.
Let's see what he's got.
Yes!
Huge whip to invert.
For this year I was thinking to gap the whole thing, but it's raining so much here, so let's see if we can get the speed. I just want to do the same, flip whip over the whole thing, maybe get a little table in there, or a little bar spin combo, let's see. And on to the next one. Here we are at the third feature, the on-off switch. We've seen some cool variations over the past couple of years, and I think creativity is at an all-time high in 2024. This feature is 4.8 meters wide and 4.8 meters tall. In other words, that's about 7 Maxis icons wide and about 75 jars of Vegemite tall. Dude, I'm not trying this again. Forget it. No. Is it supposed to be bad?
It's so awesome to be here debuting the first year of women's slopestyle. It's our first time actually on this Cairns course, so the course is unique. A little bit of skate park element, you've also got those big hits, new bottom section of the course, so it's really fun and challenging. And then I think the most technical part for me would be the on-off switch box. I'm doing a bar spin on, and that was just quite technical, trying to get the bar, turn around and on-off. So definitely on-off splatter box is my most technical favourite sort of part, and definitely looking forward to doing that first big straight jump, doing a Superman seat grab.
There are more than 40 million kangaroos throughout Australia. Where were we again? Ah yes, and here we are at the end of the slopestyle course with the most notable change of all. As you can see, they got rid of the dirt pipe and replaced it with 2 big dirt-to-dirt jumps before the last money booter. I for sure prefer the new dirt-to-dirt jumps. It's just running better, it's faster. You have more speed for the last jump. We've been riding it last night and it's unreal. I love it. That leads us into the final money booter, which weighs in at 4 meters high and 8 meters long. For your tire lovers, that's about 6 Maxis icons high and 12 icons long. And there you have it, a new look at the updated slopestyle course here at Crankworx Cairns.
I wish I got that. Oh yeah, we got a ton of insane runs to come here. Riders at the top of the course include names like Lucas Huppert, who we're looking at right now, Erik Fedko, who's on a tear, Nicholi Rogatkin, who is returning to form, and of course we'll finish things off with Emil Johansson, but right now the run to beat belongs to Tim Bringer.
And that is exactly what he did. He brought it to this Cairns course. Can't do a broadcast without that joke.
You got it in.
Absolutely massive on that flip double tail whip. So much height, so much amplitude. Big flare on this quarter pipe here. I didn't pinpoint anything where he could have made up or done better. Just smooth and perfect from top to bottom.
Biggest move out of the crocktail we see. We call that the crocktail because we typically call a feature that's an in-out. We call them a whale tail. When we're down in Australia, you got to call it the crocktail. Man, that's one of those runs that you usually see it all come off the tracks on the last jump, and you're just daydreaming about what could have been, what the score would have been. But that score was an 89.25. It is the current score to beat. There's a little comparison between the tricks of Bringer and Couderc, but let's put some visuals to it. Let's take a look back at the run from the Frenchman, Paul Couderc. Top 2 runs, both coming from France right now. Paul Couderc,
yeah,
second.
Both riders with video game-like trick lists there that we're looking at. Paul Couderc with this huge double backflip as well. Bar spinning up. Bar spinning out, tricking every single feature from top to bottom. Got a little bit sketchy coming into this crocktail, but not enough to really take anything away from him, I don't think.
I mean, look how close he was to the edge. If you think back to a year ago, he actually fell off the edge of that thing.
And then mixing the 2 different directional rotations in one line is just so technical. And here, the emotion just exploding out of Paul. Able to conquer that same trick that he went down on really hard last year.
Well, the score to beat is an 89.25, and we got a rider up at the top of the course who is very capable of topping that score from Switzerland, Lucas Huppert. He was 5th at Joyride to finish out the 2023 season. His best Crankworx slopestyle result came last year. It was a 3rd in Innsbruck. His first time cracking the podium. That was a big moment. Lucas Huppert, here we go.
Tail whip up, truck driver off. One of the riders I'm really excited to see. And he gets that twister, a new trick for him this year. Tail whip up. Bar spin in. What's he got on the quarter pipe here? Big smooth flare. Coming into the croc tail. 360 tail whip in. Toboggan out. Straight back on the pedal, so you know he's got something big planned here. Oh, and he gets a little bit front end high on the truck driver. Wow, nice cork 7.
Here we go.
And coming in on that cash roll. Doesn't count. Yeah, luckily for Lucas Huppert there, the run out will not be judged.
I was almost out of breath. I was like...
Such a solid run out of Lucas Huppert. Now this, the twister, the off-axis 1080. Something new we haven't seen him do in competition.
How do you not get lost in there? Look how straight he lands. That's actually one of the wildest twisters I've ever seen.
Yeah, look at that little confirmation in his head, giving a nod. He was absolutely stoked to be pulling that here in front of the crowd.
The whip up is different, that's big.
Yeah, nice flare out of him too here. Coming into the croc tail. Nice 360 tail whip. Both tires landing at the exact same time, keeping it smooth. Toboggan out. And then he gets straight on the pedals with a big list in mind. Here's that truck now. His front end comes up a little bit high.
Look at this, he wants a variation. No, maybe not. Look at this, he claimed this right here. Oh yeah.
On a platter.
Put that medal in my hand. Now right now, sliding into home plate, safe. Maybe he slipped on a banana. What will the score be for Switzerland's Lucas Huppert? Man, adding that cash roll to his repertoire, this really has upped his game.
Yeah, that jump there was probably the only spot I could see where maybe there was a little bit of a miscue on that truck driver with the front end quite high, and somehow was able to keep his momentum.
Score to beat in 89.25. We peek in the judge's office here. Peter Henke, Connor McFarland, Anton Thielender, Brett Fruit, Grant Chopper Fielder, making sure they feel good about the number they assigned to that run. There's big point implications on the line here for this event that will shape what the start lists look like for the next 2 events.
Here's that replay of him coming down into the village.
Almost fumbled the hand coming back on after that toboggan. I love this final straightaway now. Just 3 no-nonsense big air jumps.
Yeah, the cork 7 on the step down. One of the reasons that step downs add a level of technicality is the landing is below the lip. So that means it's a completely blind takeoff. Usually on the big trick jumps, you can see the landing as you're going off the lip, so you have an idea of timing. Not on a step down where Lucas Huppert grabs the throttle and sends a cork 7 into the final Showtime booter.
Give me the score, put it in my hand. Big number, please, big number. Lucas Huppert with fingers crossed as Erik Fedko prepares to drop in.
Look at that windsock in the background there.
We
almost
like that.
Dead still.
We like it.
As we're working our way up to the top-ranked riders. So expect a show.
All right, what will the score be for Lucas Huppert? We're moments away from finding out. An 85, he slides into second position.
Yeah, Lucas really happy with that because he knows he's got more. When we get to those second runs, he can up that game.
A Another rider who has 3 second places on the Crankworx Slopestyle Tour. He's coming back. He wants to come back strong. He's been training so hard, and this is the rider that I have my money on out here to shake things up, just because how casual and consistent he is with the biggest tricks in his bag.
It's just a level of confidence he's been riding on this whole week. Let's see what he's got. He said he was gonna go big. Backflip, double bar spin over the on-off box. Oh! Bar spin to tail whip, backflip, triple combos, 360 up. Bar spin out, so he's doing what he needs to do right here, flaring the quarter pipe. 360 downside tail whip. Flare out of the hip, first time we've seen that. Superman C-Grab Indian Air 360. Oh, and he gets a little bit low on that 360 tail. Can he keep it together?
No, he doesn't. Obviously finishing with a backflip bar spin there is nothing to complain about, but you know he wanted more.
Yeah, that was an audible right there. He landed a little bit low on that jump before. We'd seen him doing double backflips in practice. Super, super clean.
Fedko obviously frustrated.
I'm sure we'll go back to a replay of the tallest run top to bottom day.
Well, he said he was gonna go big in that little piece that we watched earlier over the on-off box, a double backflip bar spin straight into a flip, bar spin, then tail whip, a triple combo while going upside down.
I mean, the strengths of Fedko are his execution and his style. This is where he separates himself from the field. We got riders with bigger tricks like Tim Bringer, you know, David Godziek and Emil Johansson yet to come, Nicholi Rogatkin, but Erik Fedko, if he can stomp his moves like that 360 Superman C-Grab Indian Air and couple them with the big bangers in his run, it's gonna be really interesting to see what the judges will do with the score. But here's where the mistake was, Alan.
Yeah, he gets a little bit off axis on his rotation. You can see that he's fighting it all the way around. Lucky to be able to keep that one on 2 wheels, to be honest. But he landed a little bit low and a little bit sideways, and that was gonna take a lot of his momentum. And in order to do a double backflip on that last set, you're gonna wind up all of your momentum into that lip and snap off. So you actually need to be going a little bit faster than you normally would to do a double backflip. He just didn't have that momentum to make it happen.
The reaction from David Godziek, he obviously knows what Fedko is aiming for, aware of the fact that he didn't hit his mark. That's why we have 2 runs here, best one counts. Crankworx Slopestyle competition. Awaiting the score for Erik Fedko on a run that he undoubtedly intends to improve upon.
The extension on that Superman C-Grab Indian Air 3 just keeps flashing before my eyes. Nobody in the business does that trick better than Erik Fedko.
But we also see him sometimes mess it up in a run. So the fact that he got that, I was thinking he was on a good one. The score is a 76, good enough for 5th place right now. He's gonna be looking forward to run 2 to have another opportunity to better that score. The top score still stands. Tim Bringer's 89.25 as we get a glimpse of the man, Nicholi Rogatkin, back up in this Crankworx Cairns start tower. 1 year ago, he had an injury. He's back right now. We're about to see if he can pick up right where he left off. Look at that.
Massive cash roll. That's what he did when he won here in 22.
Oh,
and
come
then
on.
A tail
yes.
whip. Tail whip cash roll on that massive, massive booter. Suicide no-hander up. Spinning the bars on the way out. What's he got on the quarter pipe? Nice tail whip. Perfect
Stylish.
to pedals. Right back on. Superman C-Grab, one-hander. Nice little dangly one-hand, one-footer. What's he got coming in?
Come on, Nicholi, yes!
And a twister on the first jump. Backflip bar spin on the step down.
Here we go.
And that cash roll, C-Grab. Sticking.
Oh, that's gotta feel
good. Redemption, baby, redemption.
You're back, buddy, you're back. Way to go, way to go. Talking to Nicholi earlier in the week, he said, man, it's gonna be interesting dropping in for my first competition run in a whole year after breaking the wrist here last year. And look at this, he picked up right where he left off. That's gotta feel amazing.
Yeah, as soon as his tires touched down on that first cash roll, you know it was on.
I forgot about that cash roll tail up on the second feature.
Massive cash roll tail whip with amplitude through the roof.
You know, it's so different riding, training, even performing live shows like he does with Masters of Dirt. There's something different about a competition run. And when it's been an entire year, you kind of start wondering, do you remember how to compete? There's no way there's ever been a time in this guy's career where he's gone a whole year without a competition run.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Nicholi is a veteran of this sport here. He's ready to go pretty much at any moment. So I'm not surprised he's able to pull off such an amazing top to bottom run here.
The twister on that jump too. That is not the one you would expect to see a front cork 1080 on.
See his hand behind his back there.
What does he call that? The rock chuck, right? The cash roll rock chuck?
Well,
ground chuck.
Ground chuck is what we called it in BMX. Yeah, ground chuck, the BMXer who originated that from the East Coast.
Rock chuck is a little creature we have in Oregon. Pesky buggers.
I'll take it.
The crowd awaiting the score for one of their favorite riders out there. Man, did they ever get behind him when he took the win here in 2022. Crowd favorite. What's the score going to be for Nicholi Rogatkin? An 86.62. He goes into second place. I feel like every run we see completed right now that goes to plan slots into second place, just shining a light on how incredibly difficult that run from Tim Bringer really was.
Yeah, absolutely, but if there's any riders that can beat it, they are up at the top still. Here's our next one, David Godziek.
2 riders left to go. David Godziek and Emil Johansson. David Godziek with 3 second places, only 1 spot more to go. He wants that gold.
360 bar spin up, that was an opposite tail whip out, so difficulty. No-handed twister. A 1080 corked rotation and taking his hands off. 180 bar spin up, bar spin out. Big flare on the quarter pipe, checking all the boxes on his way down this course.
No!
Triple tail whip.
No way!
To the croc tail, straight into a flare out.
This run could do it.
A double no-handed front flip. Triple truck driver.
Here we
One
go.
more jump to go. Tail whip cash roll, he's able to do it. Yeah. What a run. What a run.
Oh, man.
Also a rider getting some redemption out here. He had the opportunity to take the win last year.
Give me a piece of that, yeah!
Representing some new sponsors proud out here this year.
Oh my, we're having so many flashbacks from last year. We had Paul Couderc get redemption on that opposite 720. We just had Dave Godziek get redemption on a cash roll tail variation. He said in one of those pieces that he was gonna keep it a little bit more safe in run number 1 in order to secure one of those big scores. Can't wait to see what the judges do with this one.
Yeah, this one here, the triple tail whip up into the croc tail and wasting no time faffing around on anything, just straight back into the flare out. And then loading up to absolutely unleash on the bottom of this section. Takes his hands off twice.
Why not? Why not? 1, 2, 3.
His hand was so far on the inside of the bar on that last bar spin.
Look at this. Look
Able
at
to
this.
get it around.
He has even more he can add to that. Did you see that? Look how early he caught those pedals. Oh my.
So much hype.
Okay, if we've seen a run so far that could potentially knock out that 89.25, it's this, and what's the score gonna be? A 9-day-3! David Godziek is the new leader!
A huge score for David Godziek.
Oh man, the stage is set for the next rider. We have loaded up at the top of the course. You may have heard of him. He has 13 Crankworx Slopestyle wins. He has won the Triple Crown a whopping and record-breaking 3 times. He's the defending champ here in Cairns. His name is Emil Johansson, and he lives for moments like this.
Nobody better to deal with the pressure in moments like this. He seems like he's always the last man down, having to watch those riders just absolutely kill the course before he gets to touch it, and here we go.
Emil Johansson on course. 1, 2, 3, 4.
A quadruple truck driver over the on-off box. 360 bar spin to downside tail whip. Bar up, bar out. Nice tail whip right there, keeping his momentum, hopping in, looking really confident. 360 oppo, downside tail whip there.
Oh, look
and
at
a
that.
cash roll. Flip invert coming in, final jump. Oh, oppo truck to downside tail whip.
Oh, Emil shakes his head.
Definitely not what he wanted, but an unbelievable run nonetheless.
Oh, this is gonna be a crazy day, Alan.
Very rarely do we see Emil shaking his head at the bottom of the run. Look at this. There's 5 tricks going on at once. He's doing a 360 while spinning the bars the opposite direction 4 separate times. There's that truck to downside tail whip. The trickiest thing about that is when he does that, he's spinning his regular way, but the tail whip is opposite. He's doing things both directions. It's nearly impossible to tell. I know I blow it all the time because he's so perfect no matter which direction he's spinning the bars, the tail whip, the 360s.
Something we haven't talked about yet in today's competition. We have seen Emil Johansson come back from injury many, many times. He's actually doing that right now. A broken collarbone between the New Zealand event and this event. Somehow, miraculous, he's on the start list here. You see him dumping out a trick that we don't typically see from him there, the cash roll.
Yeah, and then maybe going into survival mode a little bit there after getting a little loose on that cash roll, but man, unbelievably clean.
Finishing things off there with that opposite 360 bar to downside whip. The crazy thing is the level that Emil had set for this field is such that when he drops a run, every single feature is filled with a trick that nobody else can do. This run was not exactly up to that same caliber, potentially due to that recent broken collarbone. You see him shaking his head at the finish line, but all credit to what that run was on its own merit. You know, we, as commentators, sometimes judge the riders against themselves. The judges don't do that, so they will assign an appropriate number to this run based on how it stacks up against the field. It's going to be a 90.25. He slots into second place.
So Emil finding himself in a position that he hasn't been in how many years?
Since 2019.
Having to go up and not going up to the top for a celebration run. He has to one-up what he's done if he wants to take the win here in Cairns.
Since Joyride 2019, the only time somebody has won a slopestyle competition at a Crankworx festival, and their name wasn't Emil Johansson, it came here in 2022 when Emil crashed in his run. Nicholi Rogatkin took the win that year, and that left us with so many riders who had to settle for second place. Guys like Erik Fedko, Tim Bringer, and the top man at this moment right now, David Godziek, sitting on that 93. Ooh, second runs are going to be absolutely insane as we take a look at the beauty that far north Queensland has to offer. We still have second runs for the women and the men here as we take a look at our current standings for the women's field. Alma Wiggberg from Sweden ruling the show right now with an 84.75. Remind us of some of those big rotational moves she had that put her at the top, Alan.
Yeah, a couple of firsts in her run. Not only was it her first run in women's slopestyle competition here at Crankworx, but she was able to do a bar spin backflip, which was the first time we'd seen that, as well as a 360. So upping the game for the entire category, the female slopestyle category. We got Shealen Reno, here she goes. She's gonna start off these second runs. No footer up, X up out. Straight back on the pedals, keeping the momentum for this gigantic jump. Oh. Able to keep the nothing, bobbles the pedals just a little bit, but she kept it fairly clean. Up onto the quarter pipe. Now needing to reignite that momentum into the crocktail. Nice styly knack-knack. Looking good out of the hip right there. Coming into these final three jumps, tuck no-hander to X up, getting that combo off again. Suicide no-hander, a little bit cleaner than last time. What she got?
Oh,
no
the pendulum!
No bookhand, we call that a pendulum.
No way!
So upping the game. That might have been what she was going for last time. We miscalled it, thought she was going for a Superman. Got that front end up a little bit too high, but not this time. Absolutely nailed that one.
I did not know she had the pendulum in the bag. We saw her working on no-footed can-cans yesterday in practice. I was expecting to see her finish this run with a no-footed can-can, but she doubled up. No-footed can-can to each side, trick called the pendulum. Definitely looking to improve that run one score, doing exactly what she needs to do after having a big dead sailor in the last jump in run number one. I like this knack-knack right here. That was good style.
Yeah, it's just really nice fluidity to her run, just keeping the tricks flowing. Maybe they're not the hugest tricks, but she's not giving up any points by making sure she's doing something on all these jumps. There's that tuck no-hander to X up. Straight in.
Looking forward to seeing this pendulum on the final feature. Good extension, better extension, the suicide no-hander compared to run number one. Doing exactly what she needs to do to try to up the ante on that score. There we go. One to her left, one to her right. Straight to the pedals. Judges are gonna dig it. Shealen Reno, run one, good enough for fifth place. What will the score be for run number two? A 65.5, sliding her right into that fifth place spot. As we take a peek at the top of the course, something we talk about so much with this competitor is her ability to constantly reinvent herself.
Yeah, absolutely impressive. As she's progressed through her career, she's changed categories. She's even changed disciplines within those categories. Just an all-around, probably the most all-around, well-rounded female bike rider in history.
Caroline Buchanan, run number two here in Cairns.
So she missed that bar spin there she was talking about in that earlier piece. She's gonna have to regroup in her mind and keep it going. Gets that Superman C-Crab in, you know, looked like a little Ratatouille there off to the side.
A look over, classic Travis Pastrana 1999 style.
Keeping those tricks going, Xing up, doing toboggans, not leaving any feature untricked. Downside X up one footer there. Tuck no-hander, just getting over that one. Oh, looks like the wind maybe blew her a little bit. Will she be able to hold on for this final jump? Oh, hold on tight.
Oh, what a save. I will tell you one thing about Superman Sea Crabs in the wind. is it's one of the most vulnerable positions you can put yourself in, especially with a horizontal crosswind like we have right now on this final jump.
Yeah, that's one of the things when it gets windy, flipping and 360ing seem to keep you a little bit straight as long as you have a rotation in mind. But when you're doing these straighter jumps, especially that right there, the Superman C-Crab Indian Air, looking off to the side, that was perfect. But some of those tricks, the wind can catch you, those wheels, and your frame can end up being a sail. And there's really not much you can do once it catches you.
Sail!
Gets that tuck no-hander off here, and this is where it looked like the wind maybe started to affect her. You see her turning the bars there, maybe fighting it.
She knows right now, she goes, should I try it? Should I do it? She takes her hand off to reach for the seat. As soon as she does, her bike gets kicked sideways and she goes straight into panic and recovery mode. Look at this. Impressive, able to get back on the bike there.
Yeah, as soon as she took her hand off in that moment, she was only holding on with one hand. It looked like the wind just sort of grabbed that rear tire and kicked it out to the left just a little bit, and she aborted mission, grabbing onto the middle of the handlebar and able to ride it down.
Caroline Buchanan not able to improve upon that run one score. She will not repeat a podium appearance here in Cairns as she sits in 4th place. But back up to the top. It's all about the final 2 riders to drop in our women's field. The 2 riders who topped the podium at the stop. #1 in Rotorua, Harriet Burbidge-Smith on course.
Yeah, Has looking to one-up that score. Dropping down to the 3rd place. Keeps it clean with that huge backflip. Currently she's sitting in 3rd, but what can she do to up that spot? We've heard some fables. I don't want to let any cats out of the bag. Let's see what she can do here. Coming into the cocktail. Big tuck no-hander. Getting so styly out of that hip. No footer on that first double. Oh, a little bit of a dead air right there. What's she gonna do to regroup?
She's gotta finish strong.
Oh, and she goes for the no-handed backflip right there. Those hands definitely loosened up. Came off those grips.
That smile says it all. She's fired up to push her limits.
So awesome to see them pushing the limits here and up in the game on every single run down the course.
She goes, I got my hands off. They could have been more, but I got my hands off. Love to see Has pushing it here at the bottom of the course.
And she has that flip absolutely locked in. See her helmet stop spinning when her eyes spot the landing, and she brings the bike in perfectly. Tuck no-hander into the crocktail. Little front end high there, but able to regroup. Keep that style flowing out. And it looked like maybe a little bit of a difficulty with the wind down here at the bottom. Got just a no-footer off there.
Hardest tricks to do with that crosswind are those non-rotating upright variations. The limb tricks, hands, feet. But here we go.
Oh yeah, they came off.
Yes.
Just a little bit, but they sure did come off.
A little taste of what she's been working on in the past 2 months between events. Run 2 score not going to better run 1. She will be sitting with that 3rd position, and considering we have 1 more rider left to go, 2 riders left to go, one of which the opportunity to knock Alma Wiggberg out of that position. So Alma gets to sit and be a spectator for this run. Robin Goomes, the owner of a gold medal from Rotorua, the only gold medal for women's slopestyle on the Crankworx World Tour. Let's listen.
Robin to Shealen. I just have this feeling like it's got all like grey.
Did you know rain or wind?
Look at Alma in the back. She knows this is not in the bag. She knows that Robin can do what's needed to be done to move into 1st place. So you see her running through her mind right there, those tricks that she wants to do on this 2nd run. Robin just waiting out this wind a little bit.
Robin saying, I feel something coming. And you know what the great thing is you get to kind of sit up there and choose your moment for dropping in, and intuition is everything. If you feel like there's a gust coming, you can sit there and wait. She's feeling it right now. Robin Goomes dropping in.
No footer up, X up out of the on-off box. Getting a couple pedals and keeping the momentum.
Oh yeah.
Solid backflip. Can up. Can out. Just a nice little technical move on that feature. Keeping the momentum on the quarter pipe into the croc tail. Little suicide no-hander, got a little bit sideways. Able to regroup, keep that going.
What does Goomes have here on the final straightaway?
There's a no-footed can. Tuck no-hander.
Can she get a variation? A backflip X up, great extension. Oh, I love it.
Had those bars cranked almost a full 270 around while she was upside down, upping her game from that first run.
Oh man, that wasn't a half-baked backflip X-up right there. That was perfectly executed. Of course, we're gonna really put it through the filter in slow motion here in a few moments, but I think she needed a backflip variation to even come close to having an opportunity to knock Alma Wiggberg out of that top spot. Can't wait to see what the judges do with this one.
Yeah, needing an 84.75 for first. Doing what she could do to try to up that score. It's so awesome to see Alma Wiggberg in for her first time, pushing the limits and making these riders up their game on every single one of their runs, chasing her score down.
Remember we were talking to her in Rotorua. We were talking about, hey, what kind of backflip variations are you working on? We were suggesting, hey, what about backflip one-footed X-up? She said, I don't really like those. She likes when the foot stays on. It's a clean-looking move. And I think she stomped it. We're about to find out here in slow motion.
Did a great job right there to recover.
Here we go. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it went all the way around.
I'd say that wheel was in line with that down tube. Even a nice little cork on that rotation.
I love the celebration before she even gets off the landing. It shows you how much this means, how much effort goes in between these events. Nail these tricks.
They celebrated after she got off the bike this time.
Oh yeah, that was funny when Haz just threw herself in clothesline Robin in Rotorua. So much excitement there.
The score to beat in 84.75. It's been the score to beat all day here in the women's field. What will the score be here for Robin Goomes? Currently sitting in second place. Waiting for that run to score.
An 86! She's done it!
Oh, the story is not over. Robin Goomes sweeping the rug out from under Alma Wiggberg. Oh, man.
And of course, since we re-wrapped, and Alma Wiggberg was our #1 rider out of that first heat, she's going to be our last to drop. You see her up there running through her run, just visualizing. We've all been watching her on Instagram. Definitely has the tricks to do what it takes, but Robin not holding back, upping her game, upping her score, and bumping up from second to first place here.
She tricked every opportunity she could take advantage of. She added a backflip variation. She was creative with the use of that side saddle lander on the slant bank. And the judges rewarded her, putting all the pressure on this rider right here, who is set to drop at the top of the course. Sweden's Alma Wiggberg.
I'm gonna have to agree with you, Bobby Sue, in the chat. This is progression.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's gonna be good.
Let's see what Alma's got. Bar spin up. Little table out right there. Gets that flip bar spin around. Perfect rotation.
She's on one.
So right there, not getting tricks up, not getting tricks out. That's where Robin Goomes was so perfect, getting something on every obstacle.
Can she add another 360 somewhere here on this final straightaway?
Looking a little tight. What's she gonna have on this jump? Big suicide no-hander. Toboggan in right there. Final jump. And a 360 toboggan on that big final jump. Looked a little tight, couple mistakes on the way down, not getting a trick on every single jump, but really pushing the limit. You can see that smile in her face. how stoked she is to be here and competing with her friends.
Oh man, Alan, I got a couple things to say about that run right there. When comparing it to Robin Goomes, Robin Goomes absolutely filled every opportunity to trick. No missed opportunities out there, some creativity. But Alma Wiggberg, she had 2 rotational variations, whereas Robin Goomes had a straight flip and a flip variation. She also had variety in her rotations, having one of those rotations be a backflip. We're about to see that backflip bar spin right now. Perfect.
Yeah, absolutely perfect. Watch these tires come in on the landing, both at the exact same time. That is what the judges are looking for to give these tricks the highest scores possible.
So they're gonna love that. They may penalize her for a non-trick up the slant bank and a non-trick down the slant bank, but will she make up for it on the final jump? This is gonna be really close.
Yeah, tricking in the crocktail, getting that can-can. That was another non-trick right there, just kind of coming out casually out of the hip.
I'll tell you what, if she spun something like this step down right here, it would be a no-brainer. She'd be taking the win. But she needed to set up for that final trick booter. Let's see what she did. I believe it was that toboggan. Yep, and here we go.
And gets that 360 toboggan. Nice combination of tricks right there.
Ooh,
shaking her head a little bit. She knew she left a little bit on the course, but will it be enough? It's in the judges' hands at this point.
Getting that hand on that seat is really making this a tough decision for the judges here. The score to beat an 86. Score coming in for Alma Wiggberg. An 89.75. She does it. Alma Wiggberg grabs the gold.
In her first appearance in a Crankworx slopestyle, Alma Wiggberg blows minds with multiple firsts in her runs on the way down. Such amazing, amazing job pushing the limits, pushing her fellow riders.
Oh, the judges were basically telepathically requesting a 360 variation from Alma Wiggberg on this final Showtime booter, and she absolutely delivered.
That she did, Cam.
They sent her a message by putting Robin Goomes in first, rewarding her absolute onslaught of tricks, forcing the hand of Alma Wiggberg here to push her limits.
And I like the combination right there. Toboggan on the step down, setting up this next trick. The 360 toboggan, spotting her landing, pulling it around, going absolutely huge.
Well, Tracy Hanna is standing by with Alma.
And coming right up will be run number 2.
Alma, unbelievable run. You just pushed slopestyle so quickly to the next level in women's. You just won the first Crankworx slopestyle you attended. How are you feeling?
It just feels amazing. Been a very stressful couple of days. Very little practice, so I'm super stoked for the run I made.
You did some combos that we haven't seen from the girls so far. What were you thinking as you're going through your run?
I just have to do it, honestly. I don't know, this is what I've trained for all winter, so just stoked to be here and get it done.
Yeah, well, it was amazing to see you ride, and everyone here is obviously stoked for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wow, the crowd loves it. What a moment there for Alma Wiggberg from Sweden. Her first Crankworx slopestyle appearance, and she takes top honors.
Yeah, awesome to see Alma back out here battling maybe two or 3 years in a row of shoulder injuries, just fighting it, able to come through, retrain herself back into shape, and come out here and absolutely blow minds on this Cairns slopestyle course.
Honestly, Alan, when we looked at the rider list, the first stop in Rotorua, we're saying, where's Alma Wiggberg? She's the only women competitor out there that we've seen do a flat spin 360. That was in Speed and Style in Whistler 2022. We missed her then, but you know what? She made up for it here.
Yeah, she made the right decision. The word on that was she just didn't feel quite strong enough yet and didn't want to re-injure that shoulder, so she sat out Rotorua, making the perfect decision stayed home and was able to make her debut here in Cairns and win this competition.
Congratulations to Alma Wiggberg. Yeah, we got a pretty exciting season on our hands right now. Robin Goomes taking silver to back up the gold medal she earned in Rotorua. I cannot wait to see this list of competitors take to that legendary Crankworx Innsbruck course in a few short weeks.
Yeah, a couple of new features there for the women. We haven't had a whale tail yet.
Well, so much excitement and adventure can be had here at the Crankworx venue, especially on this slopestyle course. But when the riders aren't riding, they got to get their thrills somehow. Take a look.
Yeah, like I woke up at like 5, kind of realized like, oh, I'm gonna go do something scary in a bit. Your heart kind of jumps up a bit.
Yeah, we're just gonna start the week off with some adrenaline, and hopefully it kicks off the week of yeah, being a little bit scared.
Gotta get them tight, don't want them falling off. That was a really good idea until now. Now we're scared.
And I just turn around and Jaden's face is just petrified.
It takes a little bit to comprehend that you're actually about to jump out of it.
Yeah, so sick. It's nice how, like, because on the bungee you gotta jump yourself, but these guys, they just throw you out of there. Like, if I had to jump out of there, my God. I'd be like, comfortable for like a minute, and then I'd be like, oh my God, this is so gnarly, and then I'd be like comfortable for another minute.
The scariest part's when you are in control and they give you the handles to kind of go up and down and turn and do the parachute yourself, which is very cool. Cool to see the tropics from above.
I was just like trying to like gulp in air and not like leave my mouth open.
If you're gonna do it anywhere, I think Cairns is a pretty beautiful spot to do it.
All right, one more run to go in this competition for the men. The score to beat is a 93. It belongs to David Godziek. But there's a whole list of qualified contenders here who are ready and willing to knock him off. Guys like Erik Fedko with issues in run number 1. Guys like Emil Johansson, who we know has more in the tank. But we're gonna start things off with Jake Atkinson right now. His first Crankworx Slopestyle appearance, this obviously being his second Crankworx Slopestyle run. He's got one more run worth of diamond level experience now. Let's see if he can put it to use.
Tail whip up, truck driver off. So now he's made it further than his first run. What's he got here? Huge cash roll, looking very composed. Manual up.
Wow, the skate park specials, no way!
Oh, that was sick!
And he had the guts to go for a manual combo after what happened in run number 1.
Dennis McCoy just twitched a little bit after that. Triple truck driver in. A flare on the quarter pipe, so he's getting an extra hit here. Tail whip out.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't seen any riders go on this side. Fumbles his pedals just a little bit. Does he have enough momentum? He does. Double tail whip in.
Here we go, final jump. A clean cash roll for Jake Atkinson. Oh, it's gotta feel good to put one through the finish line.
Yeah, the pressure was on for Jake. He didn't make it past the first obstacle in that first run. Pretty much worst case scenario, but right there was a heck of a redemption. Tail whip up, 360 bar spin out. We saw some firsts out of him, some stuff we hadn't seen. Super technical riding. Going huge on that cash roll.
When you think about the variety of skills on display here, we have big banger dirt jump moves coupled with skate park prowess. Right here, this is incredibly tack.
Yeah, this right here, manuals up, does a couple of pivots around, gives it a little crank. and then bar spins out. That's something man, that was awesome. Did not expect that.
It's like playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater. As long as that front tire doesn't come down, the trick meter keeps on ticking.
We got
combo.
3.
Yeah, triple truck into the croc tail.
Yeah, I called it a double. It was so fast and clean. I missed that. That was actually 3 bar spins on that triple truck into the croc tail. Right there, he fumbled the pedals just a little bit, and I got worried, but he was able to keep that momentum. Big 360 invert. Buzzing that shoulder with his tire.
That's a big move right there, the double whip on the step down.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think he's going to get docked? I believe we had 2 cash rolls here in this run. Both on straight trick jumps.
I think a top to bottom run here is a win. First event. After that first run, he's having such a hard time, but that was so clean. Look at the relief in his face.
Huge confidence builder there in his first Crankworx Slopestyle appearance, being able to put one through to the finish line, tricking absolutely every feature. What's the score going to be here for Jake Atkinson, the youngster out of the UK?
You got my gloves?
Kids are relentless out here. Can we have your wallet? Cell phone. Coming out of that triple truck into the croc tail.
Yeah, and this is the first we've seen someone come in and use that quarter pipe as a feature and not just hip out. Pulling a flare right there, and then this out of the wedge, almost a bunny hop. You don't have that transition to get that momentum going for the tail up, but he's able to muscle it around. Kind of fumbled the pedals a little bit in between, and I was a little worried that he wasn't gonna have the speed, but he was able to keep that momentum going all the way through, and there was that huge double tail. He actually landed quite low on it and went for that cash roll on that final jump.
There we go, the run 2 score for Jake Atkinson. I believe that put him into 7th place. It was 9th place, Jake Atkinson into 9th as we get our first looks of Max Langille here preparing for his second and final run of today's competition. Max Langille coming off of injury.
The man is getting hyped up. Made sure everything is tight on his bike. He's tight on his body. He's ready to drop in. Getting that combo bar spin in. Opposite 360 bunny hop.
Oh, come
Cash
on.
roll.
Yes.
Middle front end high, but he was able to muscle it around. Keeps it going. He will not be docked for that. Little patty cake in, patty cake out. Keeping the stunts rolling. Ooh, tuck no-hander to bar spin. That is a technical maneuver right there on the quarter pipe. Flip whip in the croc tail. 270 out, so he's stepping up his game. Oppo 360 invert, muscles it around. Regular 360 double bar spin.
He's got momentum in the final jump. A click 3 table. Getting one through the finish line here in run number 2 after a big crash in his first attempt. That's got to feel good there for the Canadian Max Langille.
He's got plans later tonight. What do you think?
He's ready to celebrate. He's back. It's his 3rd Crankworx Slopestyle appearance. It's such a big moment when we see these riders miss the end of the previous season, come back from injury, train hard, get back, and put one top to bottom together.
Yeah, awesome to see him collect himself between runs. Flip whipping in, little nose heavy. You see his body weight get a little bit off, but he did not even hesitate. He kept his eye on that transition, popping that 270 out.
Oh man, I didn't realize how great extension he got on that opposite 360 invert.
Yeah, the bike was practically upside down.
Then he balances out here going his regular direction with a 3 table.
I like the choreography on that, if you will.
It
you know,
is.
matching those oppo tricks to each other.
Absolutely well balanced. Let's remind everybody out there who's a slopestyle fan how difficult it is for these riders to keep their points high enough in order to stay on tour, get those invitation emails knowing that you're one of the top 14 in the world. So every spot on this standing sheet means a higher number going toward his collection for the next competition's invitations.
And you hear me calling out those opposite rotations. There's one right there with the bike completely upside down. When we're talking about opposite, the degree of difficulty on doing any rotational trick opposite is through the roof. If you at home want to try to figure out what that's like, tonight when you go to bed, brush your teeth with your opposite hand. Just feel how weird that is. Imagine trying to do that out here on these massive, massive courses.
A little peek at who we have to come here on the bottom left of your screen. Tom Isted will be the next to drop. Still waiting for the score for Max Langille.
This is the crescendo. This is where the pressure cooker really develops.
So we got Max holding his visor on with Rocky Mountain stickers. Tom Isted, let's see if he got his visor back on after that. He pulled it off like a tear-off. All right, run 2 score for Max Langille, slotting him into 11th position. There we go, the 66, good enough for 11th.
Just out here having a good time with the crowd, huh?
Personal goal there, getting one top to bottom after coming back from that foot injury. Right now, Tom Isted will be the next rider to drop, collecting a pair of podiums last season. His checkers or wreckers approach is going to be on full display here in run 2. Here we go.
Yeah, Tom's going to send it right here, absolutely guaranteed.
Yes.
There's that Superman backflip over the on-off box, right into the double tail. Gets it clean this time. That's where things started to unravel last time. Bar spin up. See what he's got on this quarter pipe. Massive flare, the highest flare we've seen all day.
There it is, come on.
There's the cork 810, opting to go around the crocktail. Flip whip, what's he got for the step down? Front flip, no-hander, visor stays on. Final jump.
Tom goes for the twister, can he get it? No! Under rotation, the bike ripped out of his grasp.
This is feeling a little familiar. Maybe that was the trick he was having a hard time with last year. Just a slight lack of speed for that twister. The amount that you spin off of that lip to create that much rotation, it's so much. You need all the speed in the world, and it looked like maybe he just didn't quite have enough. He tucks up the bike. Yeah, he needed about 6 more inches of amplitude, and he would have been able to plant that rear tire and steer the front end in right where he wanted to. But instead, he's just gonna be able to work out.
Deja vu for Tom Isted. That trick is what took him out of both runs here in Cairns just a year ago.
Watch this Superman seat grab. Sorry, not Superman seat grab, but Superman backflip. Looks like he did a no-footer to Superman.
Clicking those feet together, and look at this. He was able to get those feet back on in that berm and correct enough to launch himself into a double backflip. Yeah, nobody's ever accused you of not trying, Tom. That is not something we've ever seen from you. Oh, yeah. Griffin Paulson loaded up into the start gate. The 26-year-old, originally hailing from far north BC, Prince George, looking to make his hometown proud.
Griffin getting a top to bottom run on his last time at this course, so you know he's going to be looking to step up what he did, build on what he nailed.
He has been ruling the show on the Gold Series. He had a first at Big White last year, a second at Red Bull Roof Ride. Yet to get a podium here on the Crankworx World Tour. Will today be his day?
Bar spin in, 360 out, straight on the pedals.
Whoa!
Big double backflip. Was there a combination there? X-up. X-up double backflip, so he is stepping it up. Toboggan on the quarter pipe.
He wants it. Look at him. Come on.
Front flip up. Little stanky leg out. Really gonna focus on these last 3 jumps. Flip whip.
Clean.
Front flip, no-hander. He's got all the momentum. What's his trick gonna be?
Front flip, bar spin.
He holds on to it.
Great run for Griffin Paulson.
Griffin Paulson elevating his game along the way down this course. Definitely looking to elevate his score.
That kid, whoever ends up with those goggles will have earned them. And somebody's mom is doing laundry tonight. Or dad.
Let's go. That was a bit better, eh?
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, Griffin a bit more satisfied with that. He's wanting to hear the love from the crowd.
Griffin Paulson, one of the riders out there who fuels off the crowd the most. He takes their energy and applies it to his approach to this course. That double backflip X-up. See him sneaking back to the back of the bike to speed up that rotation after the extension of the X-up. Look at that, boom!
Yeah, getting the X-up on the first rotation, unclicking it and spotting that landing around behind him. Gets that front flip in. This may be the only spot where I think he maybe could have done more.
It was birdie though.
It was so nice.
I love this final straightaway this year. Just 3 no-nonsense trick booters. A backflip tail up on the first one. Take a look at these hands, Alan. Boom!
Looks like he grabbed the tire for a second there with both of his hands and then extending. And there's the bar spin front flip.
Oh.
So difficult to do those back-to-back front flip combinations.
Look at this. This is like reminiscent of like Anthony Napolitan in the old Dew Tour days, isn't it?
100%. That's the exact same flashback I had.
Waiting for the score here for Griffin Paulson. Here it is, a 70.12. He slots into 11th.
11.
11.
All right. Stoked on the run. Not the day. Sorry, buddy.
Griffin Paulson is going to love having those points, though, to carry through the rest of the season. Ben Thompson, next rider to drop, the 21-year-old from Squamish, BC. He won Rider of the Year at Joyride to finish off last season. Here we go. Currently sitting in 10th.
Front flip, no-hander, over the on-off box. Bar spin, bar spin, bar spin backflip, triple bar spin backflip. Little fast plan up there. Bar spin in, bar spin out. So doing what he needs to do, ticking the boxes, doing quality tricks on every single obstacle. Oppo 270 out, mixing up the direction of those rotations. Gets a flip bar on the first double there. Double truck driver.
What do we got? An opposite 360 to finish things off. Ben Thompson with a little bit more to the playbook there that he wasn't able to bring to reality. But man, did it start out strong.
Yeah, look at that triple bar spin backflip. The whole time he's doing that, he is not holding on with his handlebars. He's pinching the bike with his knees and squeezing the cranks with his ankles. Throwing the bars around 3 times while doing a backflip. Tricking in, tricking on, and tricking out of that slant wall.
I believe he had a 360 downside whip into the crocktail in run number 1. He swapped it out for the truck driver here and then balanced things out with an opposite 270 out. Let's see if we can see where he started to miss his plan. I think it was right there.
Yeah, maybe wanted a little bit more on that first jump and just couldn't regain his rhythm. Gets the double truck driver off perfect though. I thought he had completely recovered.
Run number 1, he had the 360 double downside whip. Now he goes for an opposite 360. Clean opposite 360 though, but you gotta imagine he was hoping to get a variation in there.
Yeah, I'm guessing there were some tail whips expected in there.
He says, eh. So he does not improve on his run 1 score there with run 2, but he's still sitting in 10th. Ooh, okay. All right, yeah, we're nodding our heads to each other right now. This is gonna be fun to watch.
Yeah. Yeah,
Erik
this is gonna be good.
Fedko coming back from ankle injury, and he's looking to come back strong. He's been training so hard in New Zealand all off season. A huge training compound, which is the reason why he's on such a level at the moment. A level that he didn't live up to in his mind on run number 1. He's got a score to settle here in run number 2.
Double bar spin backflip all the way up and over the on-off box. Gets the bar spin, backflip to tail whip. As clean as can possibly be. 360 up. Bar spin out. Clean flare on the quarter pipe. Landing high on that transition, keeping his momentum.
Nice.
360 downside, straight into a flare.
Okay, can we get this trademark move here? Yeah!
And there it is, the 360 Indian Air Superman C-Crab. Right into a 360 tail whip.
Here we go. A clean
and he nails it, double backflip. That is definitely what he was looking for out of that first run. Able to pull it here in his second attempt.
Extension, composure, style, with big tricks to boot. That is a classic Erik Fedko run right there. Let's take a look back. Backflip, double bar spin all the way up and over the on-off box. Linked right into that backflip bar spin to tail up, catching pedals early and clean.
Just nosing in so deep and committed. Watch, I think his front tire lands first. That's how committed he was to this trick.
You gotta remind yourselves that the judges do really care about that. You know, we have big tricks out here that are barely landed, and that's obviously going to show risk, which the judges reward. But the ability to have precision in execution on these technical maneuvers is something that the judges absolutely love. Part of the reason why Emil has been so successful is his ability to cleanly stomp these technical maneuvers, and that's what Erik Fedko did here. But this is my favorite move that he does.
Yeah, the best in the business to do that Superman C-Grab Indian Air and keeping his momentum all the way down to the bottom and able to pull that double backflip.
Front tire touchdown first on that double flip as well.
He's just so confident and so casual. We talk about it a lot. It's style you can't teach, you can't buy. He's just got it in there.
Well, he needs points really bad right now, considering he was out for so long with that ankle injury and did not get a good result at Joyride last season. So he did his job. He stopped this run. And we're waiting to see what the judges do with it. Are we gonna get to see this 360 Superman C-Grab Indian Air again? Look at his legs pointing straight to the sky, almost vertical.
Straight upside down.
Here's where he had a mistake in run number 1. Clean rotation here, landing absolutely straight, enabling him to have the speed to finish the run the way he wanted to in run number 1 with this smooth double backflip.
So clean.
But when you're comparing it to tricks that we've seen previously today, where does it stack up? The score to beat right now, a 93
I just gotta wait for the score.
from David Godziek. He needs to beat an 89.25 to get into podium contention. Run 2 score in, it's an 86.25. A clean 5th place right now for Erik Fedko.
Yeah, Fedko hyped to get that run down. Getting some solid points in the bank.
Oh, look at this. Kid knows what time it is. Look at it, matches his helmet.
Bloody mongrels, I think is what they say, right? Here?
Oh, here we go. Tobey Miley, the man who started off this chaotic Crankworx Cairns slopestyle final for the men's field. He scored a 78.25 in run number 1 with a run that was full of energy, got us kicked off on the right foot. Here we go, Tobey Miley for run number 2.
Yeah, it looks like he's still vibing off that first run. Bar spin in, truck driver out, straight on the pedals.
Oh yeah!
Superman seat grab, backflip, Indian air. I love that trick. Tuck no-hander up. Bar spin out. He's riding so good for this being his first time competing at a Crankworx slopestyle.
For sure.
Triple truck driver into the croc tail, downside tail whip out. It's like he's been here for years. 360 double downside. So awesome to see. He had more in the tank.
That is a rider who absolutely belongs right here on the Crankworx Slopestyle World Tour. Not only did he get us going the right way with a huge run, but he had more to back it up with here in run number 2. Unfortunately, a little bubble there on that 360 double downside tail, but just a taste of things to come from this young slopestyle competitor out of Germany.
Always nice to see a fresh face coming on to the Crankworx circuit and having an amazing debut.
Tobey Miley currently sitting in 8th place. 8th place points at a diamond event is something you love to have in your back pocket for those contest invitations. There's a look back at that 360 double downside tail up gone wrong.
Look how far over his head his feet were.
He was upside down at one point.
Yeah, it's like his body did some sort of like flip variable while his bike was double downside tail whipping.
It's
Stomps a foot right there.
Pretty amazing he was able to get back to the bike and roll through the run out.
I like that. He didn't jump off. That never say die attitude. Sometimes when you do that, you'd be surprised what you can ride away from.
Well, I consider myself a Tobey Miley fan right now. I can't wait to see what the future has in store for him.
You don't think this means a lot to these riders? Do you see the stoke in Tobey's face right now?
Oh, okay. Paul Couderc preparing to drop in for run number 2. After a huge run of redemption, stomping that opposite cork 7 on the final jump that took him out last year. Let's see if he can up the ante here in run number 2.
Paul Couderc, so much energy and emotion in his riding. Massive backflip tail whip. Oh, and he ups it right there. Can double backflip. You see a head nod. Game on for Paul Couderc right now.
That is right. Look out.
Will he up his first run on the croc tail and the rest of the course? What's he got?
Coming in hot.
360 double tail whip. Slips a pedal. He's able to keep it going. Come on, Paul. Oh, that's it. He threw it in. Perfection is needed.
Way to go, Paul.
But awesome to see.
Well done for Paul Couderc. A huge first run. And then a big attempt here in run number 2 to better that score. Train came off the tracks on the croc tail.
That was dope.
Just a random voice from the crowd basically saying, I like that. Us too, man.
Watch,
so much so that we're gonna look back at it.
Watch the landing on this. That's what got me. Just absolutely perfect. And there's the can-can double backflip. It's like a can-can backflip, and then he puts his foot on and grabs the bars, tucks into a ball, and does another backflip all in the same air.
I think I'll have another. Wow, we still have 5 riders left to go in this competition. Here's where he was looking to up the ante. Oh, a 360 double tail into the croc tail, missing pedal, not connecting with the transition, back out to the dirt to point himself toward that final straightaway of 3 trick booters. He'll have to settle for that run 1 score, currently holding him in 7th place.
We saw some new tricks out of Lucas Huppert in his first run, some stuff we hadn't seen him pull off on the Crankworx World Tour until here.
That cash roll into his repertoire has been so big because he scaled that into the twister, basically putting his name on the list of podium contenders here in the 2024 season. He cracked onto the podium last year in Innsbruck, Austria with a 3rd place. He knows how to do it. Let's see if he can put together the pieces here in Cairns.
Hoopy getting tech, tail whip up, 360 bar spin out, straight onto those pedals, getting the momentum up.
Whoa!
There's that twister again, able to pull it clean. Tail whip up, what's he got off the box? Bar spin. Going big on that flare. Coming into the croc tail, 360 tail whip. Toboggan on the hip out. Now eyes on the money booter at the bottom, but he's got to get there. Double truck driver.
Oh no, he's gonna wave it off.
Yeah, he had some big plans down for the bottom. The pedal flip.
I've never seen that.
I want to see how the pedal flip scores. It's a Mike Gaken original, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, 2nd runs here. These riders who had flawless first runs know what it takes to better their scores, and as soon as it's not going to happen, they're saving themselves for the rest of the season here. But he's got, I think, my favorite twister in the game right here. He's so much more off axis than we typically see. He's upside down for a long, long time.
Doing what he needed to do on those park features in the middle, tricking every obstacle on his way down.
Here we go. So he did have kind of a funky 360 bar spin on this dirt jump here in run number 1. He got the double bar spin 360 in run 2, but he didn't like it.
Yeah, something about that jump, the front end's just staying a lot higher than you would want to. When you come in on the landing with your front end high, get that landing gear out, have that back tire come down first, it's really hard to get a pump on the transition and have the momentum for the next jump.
Well, 6th place for Hoopy now as we get our first view of Nicholi Rogatkin as he makes the final preparations for run number 2. He stomped run number 1. As we mentioned before, returning to competition for the first time in a year after that crash here in Cairns. He's absolutely back on form. He's sitting in 4th, which is where he finished last year. Nicholi Rogatkin, after a long season of Masters of Dirt shows, has some huge bangers up his sleeves. And we would be guessing if we said we knew what he had planned for this run too here. Yeah.
Gets the cash roll to perfection on the on-off box. There's a twister right there.
Wait a minute.
Wait, was that a twister?
Was that a 1440?
I think it might have been. He was spinning so fast, it was hard to tell, but it did look different.
We know that he has a 1440 in his bag. Here we go.
Oh, and he blows a tire. I can't count that high, Cam.
I'm gonna say it. He was going for the 1440 right there. We saw him land it at Red Bull District Ride years ago on a huge Showtime booter. He's looking to put it down on the 2nd feature of this Crankworx Cairns slopestyle course here in order to just absolutely up the ante and take no prisoners. Unfortunately, the jump is a little bit smaller than the jumps we have seen him land this trick on. He comes up just slightly short on the rotation, putting way too much pressure on that rear tire, blowing out the sidewalls. You know what? He's not going to get a clean 2nd run, but thank goodness he is in one piece. We cannot say that he was last year after a mistaken run number 2. So we're looking forward to seeing Nicholi Rogatkin the rest of this 2024 season.
20 seconds.
Nicholi Rogatkin will remain in 4th place And it's gonna be up to Tim Bringer right now to try to knock out David Godziek from the hot seat. Godziek's score a 93. Tim Bringer's run one score was an 89.25. You know he has more. He caught pedals very, very early on those backflip tail up and 360 double tail variations. Here we go, Tim Bringer on course.
Tim opening it up with that humongous double backflip all the way up and over, and then he does a double backflip, double tail whip, backflip to bar spin.
I had a feeling.
A little bit of a tongue twister, that one. So he's pulling the hardest tricks, and there's a flare tail whip, so he's upping the ante everywhere he can.
Come on.
Gets the cash roll in, landing right next to the edge. Double tail whip out. Tim Bringer is locked in. What's he gonna bring home?
Look out.
Gets that 360 X up 2 bar spin. Double backflip on the step down, lands a little low. 360 downside tail whip, did not have the speed to finish that off the way he wanted to, but an absolutely unbelievable run.
Bravo! Francis Tim Bringer, one of the riders in the field we always know has more in the tank. His amplitude gives him the opportunity to squeeze in extra spice. Second feature, this is where he did it.
Yeah, backflip, double tail whip, catches it, pinches the seat, and chucks the bars around one time. Mind you, after a double backflip, probably one of the most risky tricks you can do out here over the on-off box, he then grabs the throttle and sends that trick.
So when you land that trick, you go, okay, cool. Well, now I have a better run going, so I have to get absolutely everything I had in my first run and then some.
Which is exactly what Tim does here. On the first run, I think he had the highest flare, and there he does a tail whip flare.
Judges go, all right, all right. He means business.
Look how close to the edge he lands on this cash roll in. Doesn't even flinch though.
Eyes up, focusing on the next feature where he comes out high with the double tail whip. And here, I think he wanted more bar spins here in this 360. Let's see what he gets. Oh, no way.
What
360 bar back to bar. So he did up it there.
Okay,
I had no idea.
And then here's the double backflip on the step down, which is completely blind. He over rotates and over jumps that double backflip just a little bit and didn't quite have the momentum he needed to do whatever it was he was gonna do on the last jump. You got a guess on what that might have been?
Well, he had the 360 double tail up in the first run, so at least that. But he improved 3 different moves in this second run. The only thing that didn't work out is he didn't get the trick he wanted to end with. What are the judges gonna do with it? It's not like he did a straight air, he still did a 360 downside tail up. Huge improv skills there from Tim. And a huge trick on that step down, the double backflip, which is a trick that caused him to lose some speed. And any true slopestyle fan is gluing themselves to their couch right now because Emil Johansson is at the top of the course, ready to drop in from behind, which is something you do not see very often. There we go. Tim does not improve his second run score, but he's sitting in that bronze medal spot. So a job well done today for Tim, but this competition is far from over. As we see Emil Johansson, the 13-time slopestyle champion on the Crankworx World Tour, the winner of 3 Red Bull Joyrides, 3 Triple Crowns. He swept the 2023 Crankworx Slopestyle season in unfamiliar territory right here. He's usually up there gearing up for a victory lap, but he needs to absolutely drop the hammer right here if he wants to keep the streak alive. The most Crankworx Slopestyle wins in the history of the sport at 13. Here we go, what's he got?
Emil hasn't been up against the ropes for 5 years. There's that quadruple bar spin 360 to open it up.
Yeah, there it is, he's on one.
It's that truck to double downside tail whip. Bar spin up, bar spin out. I like seeing him take that little crank. He's not in a hurry.
There we go.
But he's riding with authority. Double tail whip on the quarter pipe.
These are the things we were missing from run number 1.
360 double downside tail whip.
Oh, he's on
alley-oop, bar to bar out. His opposite alley-oop. Cash roll.
Cleaner this time.
There's that flip invert. He has the momentum. What's it gonna be?
What do we got? There we go. The opposite 360 whip to inward table.
Oh. Emil getting the run down that he was hoping for in that first run.
He is absolutely getting swarmed right now.
Emil Johansson doing Emil Johansson things here. What a run. 1, 2, 3, 4. Quadruple truck driver all the way over the on-off box to kick off this run. And these were the tricks we were expecting to see in his first run.
360 bar spin, double downside tail whip. Notice that downside tail whip spinning the opposite direction of the first double downside tail whip. It's really hard to tell.
Jeez, that right there was so tech.
That is also an opposite alley-oop 270 bar to bar.
And we do not see him doing cash rolls very often. Love seeing him pop outside his comfort zone. Set up here, he stalled out the extension here on this backflip invert. And he had the right speed for the final jump this time.
Opposite 360 tail whip to invert.
To catch those pedals and sneak his way into that stylish invert is something that we expect from Emil Johansson. Will it be enough to knock David Godziek off of the hot seat? Godziek sitting on a 93.
We got a shoey.
Emil celebrating with the peer pressure of the Cairns youth out here in the finish corral. What will the story be here in Cairns? Will David Godziek get his first Crankworx Slopestyle win, or will Emil Johansson get his 14th? Expect the judges to take their time with this, and what kind of stuff do you think they're considering here, Alan?
I think they're gonna have to look at where he was doing the opposite tricks, where he was mixing up the rotations. It's so hard to tell because he does them both so clean. Gonna have to tabulate all those scores, add in all those extra difficulties. Really give it the best shot he has. Waiting on the scores down here. People have been waiting to see what Emil would do if he had to take a second run for 5 years now. Come through, I think, is what he can do.
Coming back from that broken collarbone just a matter of weeks ago. We're astounded to see him even take to the start list. But don't forget, we got David Godziek up there ready to answer if Emil's score beats a 93. Run 2 coming in. A 92.25. Emil Johansson gets the silver medal. David Godziek secures his first Crankworx Slopestyle gold. Wow.
David Godziek ready for the celebration run. What a day for my riders out here.
I was gonna say.
I didn't want to say anything until it was official, but my team.
David Godziek, after so much hard work. Oh, this is gonna be a fun victory lap here. He's got his handlebars backwards. Look at this, 3 second places just last season. One man was between him and that gold, and he just beat him. David Godziek, a well-earned first Crankworx Slopestyle win.
Half bar spin in, full bar spin out. This is for us, people. Nothing in freestyle competition feels better than getting a victory run. I've had a couple in my time, and I'll tell you, it just feels so good to be able to take your time and enjoy this last run. No pressure, no stress. Just out here enjoying the moment. I love to see it.
Smile on the face of David Godziek as he celebrates the biggest win of his career. I just love soaking up this moment right here. After so many attempts at taking the gold medal, squashed by the dominance of Emil Johansson, David Godziek finally rises to the tippity top. I mean, there's been a lot of wins in this man's career. Everything from big gold event wins on a mountain bike to X Games gold medals on the BMX bike. And something tells me this one's got to be the sweetest of them all. Taking his first Crankworx Slopestyle gold medal.
I don't know if you heard what David just said to me when I was congratulating him. The only thing he had to say was, I was ready for more.
Yes, and we do not doubt that one bit. Tracy, let's hear from our winner.
David, insane run. 3 second places last year. How does it feel to take your first win?
It's been my dream to be on the first place on the podium. Still wasn't my dream run, but I'm super stoked how this competition finishes. It was my dream, and I have no words.
How did you deal with the changing conditions all week?
It was super tricky, the rain on and off, but yeah, everyone was doing their best. And the builders, the riders, everyone here involved, and also me. I did everything I needed to be on the podium, step by step, slowly. But yeah, super stoked to put it together somehow in the run.
With the Triple Crown up for grabs now, how are you feeling about the rest of the season?
I'm pretty sure it will give me some even more confidence, and yeah, there is a Triple Crown I heard about.
David, absolutely insane. Thanks for putting on an amazing show for Cairns, and congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Oh man, you can feel the emotion right there from David Godziek as he soaks up the moment. The 93. And he said he had some more in the tank. If that means one thing, it is that this season is going to be something we do not want to miss.
Yeah, game on. It was so awesome to see Emil have to take that second run and get pushed. The level has risen to his level, and now we have a season.
I mean, we saw in Innsbruck a couple years ago, Emil Johansson with his back up against the wall. He had to drop a run with the pressure on. He did. The only time we've ever seen Emil not take the gold medal is when he crashed here in Cairns 2 years ago. So this is a historic moment since Emil started winning a Joyride 2019, where he goes face to face against a competitor and gets beat. But you know what? This is what makes a champion right here. Moments like this, and I saw him shaking his head going, ugh, darn it. And man, the stage is set for an insane 2024 Crankworx Slopestyle World Tour. Well, we've got plenty to digest here as the dust settles on this amazing competition. Stick with us, more to come.